Well, the long road was curving quite definitely toward hope during the years that I was becoming aware of different sexual orientations and gender identities. Let's be clear, like Kate spoke about, it would still be legal to discriminate in the workplace and in housing based on both until I was in my 30s. The right to marry was just a utopian dream, if that. People could lose custody of their children simply for being gay or lesbian. Bisexual and transgender were hardly spoken of outside the community, et cetera, et cetera. But a change was coming. Some cities and states had already interpreted the Civil Rights Act of 1964 as a guarantee that LGBT folks have equal protection under the law, though plenty did not. The college I went to had weekly meetings of LBQ women, lesbian, bisexual, or questioning, and GBQ men, and just seeing them listed in the student calendar twice a week made me feel like I had a safe home there. Even the vicious backlash that accompanied AIDS also had the effect of inspiring activism and a defiant coming out by many people, or so it seemed to me at the time. It seemed like change for the better was coming and was inevitable. One thing I wished for, though, and it seemed a very faraway hope, was that a time would come when young people would not have to come out to their parents. That is, they would be open, but there wouldn't be a big family meeting, much less tears or angry responses, because, and this was the key, they would grow up without an assumption that they were cisgender or heterosexual. Couldn't we hope for a time when these things were widely considered open questions that would be answered as children grew up, but without any default or preferred outcome, that they would be like an 8-year-old's declaring that they loved soccer and wanted to join a team, or like a 15-year-old sharing that they thought their dream career was going to be a pilot? In other words, no big deal? So I was lucky. When I came out to my parents and sister, which I did at 35 when I fell in love with the woman I would soon marry, I wasn't particularly nervous. I was a little shy, but I was not at all worried that they would reject me or try to change me or be disappointed. My sister, in fact, surprised me by saying that she'd always thought I was a lesbian. Apparently, she had been taken aback a dozen years earlier when I had married my first spouse, who was a man. I assured her that I had never been a lesbian and still wasn't, but I appreciated the implicit affirmation that for all those years, she could not have cared less. And yet I still had to get on the phone to them all. Or so I thought I did, to have the conversation. The explanation that my orientation differed from the default. In other words, there was a default. And it seemed to me that in an ideal society, that would no longer be so. I wondered what it would take to bring that society about. I didn't really think it would happen in my lifetime. I was wrong. It's a lot easier than I ever imagined. All it takes, it turns out, is a generally accepting community, visibility of LGBTQIA, etc., people in a child's life, and parents who speak openly of various identities and orientations. I say that's all it takes. I realize that all is hard-won. But by the time our daughter was born in 2007, those factors were all in place for her. She is pan and proud and never needed to make a coming out speech. Now, she had a boost, of course, in growing up with two moms. We used to kid her when she was little that it would be totally okay with us if she brought a boyfriend home one day. Even though our household was girl land, everyone there was female, even the cats. Between her parents' queerness and the wider culture's ample examples of cisgender and heterosexuality, she knew a wide range of how people live their lives and express their loves. But more than that, and thanks largely to San Francisco's not only culture, but legal structures. She had teachers, principals, school counselors, a congregation, and friends' parents who were just as affirming as we were. It's just one example, one piece of this great big puzzle that we're all trying to put together. But it gives me a lot of hope that we've come this far in one generation. And knowing that most young people don't have the experiences that our daughter has had, I'm determined to keep clearing that path to hope for everybody.